The solar array is going to get a little redesign. I want to have 6 panels on this side and 6 on that. So I'm going to take 2 from there and 2 from there. And I'm going to have to move the panels up in this way. And they should all fit. And then I'll have about 140 volts going into the house per array. And that should give me a little bit more balanced array instead of, this has all been parallel and series. I got 4 in parallel. I got 4 in series, those 4 in series, and those 2 are parallel, those strings, and they go into one charge controller. And then I have those 4 in series with that one 250 watt going into another charge controller. And it's just not balanced because that's a 250 watt, those are 100 watts each, and they're not getting the same sun at the same time. So it's kind of like, it's not very efficient. So I'm gonna make it a lot more efficient so I get more power during the sun working hours. And let's do this. So we should have it switched pretty soon, right about now. There we go. That didn't take long, I did it. So we got 6 in one array and 6 in another. Each has its own individual charge controller, and it's coming into the house at about 130 volts. So that's going to be a lot higher voltage than before. So I won't lose as many amps through my cable. Looking good, didn't take too long because I use this tie wire for everything. I don't use bolts that way because everything in life is temporary. So when you assume that it's going to be permanent, it's just going to make things harder to change. Sometimes you make mistakes. So why not make it easy to change? I use this tie wire here. It's PLCGT guy wire. You got it? And it's made by that company, Hillman. It's made in the USA, and I buy it in the bulk boxes. You can buy it 50-foot rolls at the hardware store. I buy it by the case. It's a lot cheaper that way. And I go through a little bit of this stuff myself. So there we go. Now I'll just take all this nonsense away and clean all this up. And we'll be checking it out to see what kind of power we get from it tomorrow. And then that panel there is eventually going to have to be taken off the roof because I have to replace the roof. So I'll probably just hook that up to a separate charge controller. That's a 250 watt panel, so I'll be way more efficient now. So what do you think? Leave a comment below. Oh, and I use cattle gates for my back plane. So this is what I use. It makes it a lot easier. You can get them at any hardware, any general store, Tractor Supply, and they're pretty inexpensive, and it's a lot cheaper than building out a frame or something. The only thing I don't like about them is they have a really light coat of paint on them, so you might want to paint them. You can see where they're starting to spot rust here and there. So on the joints, a little bit right there. So I'm going to have to hit it with some paint. But not bad, saves a lot of time. And if you do it like I did it, you can act like it's a gate and you can pivot it. So you automatically got your hinges right here. And all of that's gate hardware. 4x4 post, screwed in there. It's all gate stuff, simple stuff that you can find at a hardware store. All right, well, we'll do an update here in a little bit and see what kind of power we get. The night I finished this, it started to rain. So it's been cloudy since, and today it rained all day. And we're gonna get rain tonight. So I plan to do a part 2 of this video where I show the power upgrade that I did, the before and after. I can tell you what it was before. On the left big array, I was getting about 40 amps, and the right array, I was getting 20 something amps. So now that I have these balanced with coming into the house with about 132 volts, I do know that. So I did see some peak sun around the clouds, and it was coming in at about 132 volts, which is a big upgrade. And the good thing about the higher voltages is I don't lose the voltage drop. Is not so bad on the cable that I'm coming into the house with. So look for part 2 of this, and the reason why I upgraded this is because of the not having power for almost 4 days now. So that kind of got me a little bit more motivated to get that extra power that I need for cloudy days. So, and you'll see I'm working with that wire there. You saw that earlier in the video. That stuff is a lifesaver. If I would have bolted all those down and had to unbolt all that stuff, it would have just taken way too long. So please like, share, subscribe. Love you all, and look for part 2 coming up pretty soon. And it should be in a couple of days. I read all the comments, so if you have any questions, just leave it in a comment below and I'll answer it in part 2 video. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that I read all the comments and I enjoy all the feedback that I get on the videos. So this was easy to switch because the wire instead of the bolt, so that's the reason why I love using that wire stuff.